Well, good evening, everyone. Hey, it's Linda Anderson from Linda Lou Creates. Thanks for joining me and hanging in there. I know I'm a little late today. It just seems like good old Murphy's Law. I can't find my light. Things. Anyway, you know how that goes. So tonight I want to share some fun and festive Christmas cards today. I have not played with this set yet, and I couldn't wait to do it any longer. So it is a bundle. Here it is. It's the Christmas Lights bundle. This beautiful stamp set and this fun set of dies. I'm really concentrating on the tree tonight, and I'm just going to show you a couple things there. Also, the sentiments are from the Brightest Glow stamp set. Love the papers. It's a set of the DSP, part of this suite, called Festive Foils. I love them. I really do. So let's get started. Let's get going with first this one. The other one's a fun fold, and I will show you what that one is all about. So here we go. Let me see if I can find where I put, here it is. See, I told you today I'm just off. So it must be the full moon. So anyway, I have a card base. You know, I love my 4 1/4 by 11. Score down here at 5 1/2. This is Evening Evergreen. Inside, I have a sentiment from that Brightest Glow stamp set. And then I put in a piece of the Festive Foils, just a scrap piece of that DSP that I had. So here we go. We've got some very vanilla for the outside. And this one measures 3 3/4 by 5. That seems to be a fun new measurement or layer that I like to do. This time I've gone a 1/4 of an inch bigger with the soft succulent. So that means it's 4 by 5 1/4. So let me just show you then two of the pieces of the Festive Foils. The Cherry Cobbler one is 5 inches long, and it's 1 3/4 inches wide, while the, oh my goodness, is this crushed curry? Anyway, the yellow one, that one's 1 inch wide by 5 inches long. So let's go ahead and get these adhered down. So I'm going to start with the yellow one, and let's get it down. There's no real measuring as to where I'm going to adhere it down, but it does look like I need to trim it just a smidge here. That's why I like to, before I layer up all of my layers, I like to make sure that I do the first layer first, so to speak, just in case then that I need to cut off anything if I just haven't measured correctly or not. So beautiful day here in Pittsburgh, 70s for November. I mean, come on, how fabulous can that be? So I know I love the colors of fall, but I certainly can do without knowing then that winter comes right after it. So I am thrilled with the days like today. So all right, now I'm going to go ahead and adhere this to my soft succulent, and then I'm actually going to go ahead and put this down to my card base. So tell me what it's like where you live, where you're from, and you know, what's happening there. We have Stamp It Up actually this weekend, this Saturday coming up, has their convention. It's called On Stage. And I could not be more excited because this year it is in Pittsburgh. So I am just thrilled to death that, I mean, it's like a 25-minute drive for me. And that's, I mean, come on. I'm staying at home. I can get some sleep and then head on out and go to the convention. So I can't wait. I cannot wait. My desk is full of the swaps that I'm doing. So next week I'll try and remember to get all of them together and show you all the ones that I receive. So, okay, the tree. It is somewhere here. So you actually need the 2 dies in order to do the tree, to cut it out the way I have it. The stamp in that set, the Christmas lights stamp set, also stamps a tree, but I decided just to go with the die. So you can see there's all kinds of, there's some holes that look like the garland or the lights that actually are cut out. And then there's ones that just kind of give you impressions of it. So as you can see here, I hope you can. I don't want it to go too wonky as far as the focus goes. But in order to cut out the green, the Evening Evergreen layer, you need this die and this die. This one only cuts out the garland or the lights, the string of lights, while this one cuts out the entire tree. So I end up putting this down onto my Evening Evergreen. I put both of them down, cut it, and run it through my die machine one time. And that's when I get the green. Then, knowing that I want to back it and have something show through, which in this case is gold foil, then I run just the tree die through using the with the gold foil, then adhering those 2 layers together, and that's how I'm getting then the gold to show through with the lights and the fun little, I'm going to call them little ornaments or pops of the gold coming through. Now, as far as the topper or, you know, the star-like image, let me bring back the dies again. It's this one right here. I cut this one out twice and adhered them together. One is out of Very Vanilla. The other one is out of the gold foil. Put it together and it reminded me of a star. So that's my topper for the trees on both of the cards I'm making tonight. So let's go ahead, get the tree adhered down. I have dimensionals behind it. Everyone knows me, knows I love my dimensionals. And I am just gonna pop it over. And there we go. Now the sentiment again comes from that Brightest Glow stamp set of all those sentiments. To you and yours this Christmas. I stamped that in the Cherry Cobbler ink. Now because I have part of it hanging on the tree and off, my dimensional is only on the portion that's hanging off of the tree. So I'll just put some glue where I'm going to have it covering over the tree. And here we go. Now when I cut this out, it was a long strip. To cut it to size, then I just cut, excuse me, on an angle. That's all. So I have then a few of these brushed metallic dots that I'm going to put on. So sometimes I like to do things in 2s, sometimes 3s, mostly the odd numbers. So I'm actually just going to put 2 on. Yes, I'm going to shake it up a bit here. And that's all I'm going to do. So there we go. Here on my sample card, I had 3. So, but this one, I'm just going to go with the 2. So there we go. There's card number 1. Pretty cool, different colors. You know, they're still your red and green, but the hint of the gold and this yellow, I just think that just is, I love it. I love it. So, all right, now the fun fold card. I actually got this idea from my upline, Lynn. She created this easel Z Fold card. So as you can see, it's got the Z shape in this dark green, the Evening Evergreen, but you have added another layer and it actually slides in here and it will stand up, which is difficult to do with the angle of my camera. But there we go. There it is. It's standing up, and it is an easel Z Fold. So whenever you want to see the message inside, just lift it open, and there it is. All right, so let's get going on this one. I will have the measurements of all of these cards, what to cut, where to score, and I also have a list of the products then that I use. So like I said, Evening Evergreen is my card base, 4 1/4 by 11, scored 5 1/2. Maybe I should do it this way. Sorry. So it's scored at 2 3/4. Let me make sure I have this right. Correct. 2 3/4 and 5 1/2. So in order to get the Z to happen, because this portion here, the 5 1/2 inch in length, is like the back of the card here. So we want to fold it first in half like we normally would. So that's the fold on the 5 1/2 inch score line. And now I'm going to fold it back on itself at that 2 3/4 inch score line. So let me go ahead and just burnish these. Okay, so here is the Z fold. So very often we have it like this. This time it's going to open like this. I don't know if I'm getting all of it in or not, but we have it more in a portrait mode as opposed to in a landscape mode. All right, let me just set this off to the side. Let's go over the next piece. This I have is soft succulent. It is 3 3/4 wide, 10 inches long. Only one score at 5 inches, so essentially in half. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, and now this is what will become, I don't know, the card portion of it. I'm going to go ahead, I want to decorate this before I adhere it down to my Evening Evergreen base, okay? So let's go ahead and do that. So here we go. I have I'm trying not to lose all the pieces here. 2 pieces of Very Vanilla, and both of them measure 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. I then have 2 pieces of Cherry Cobbler. They measure 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. All right, so I'm going to go ahead, and as you can see, this is what's going to go on the inside. So I have my sentiment, I have just a little decoration, and this I'm going to put on the inside of my soft succulent layer. So let's go ahead and do that. So that's one set of the vanilla and Cherry Cobbler layers that we cut, because remember, we cut 2 of each of these. So one is for the inside. Let me move that over. I kind of have it a little. All right. And now one's going to be for the outside, the very same measurements. The only thing is I added a piece of the Festive Foils DSP. And this measures, it's 3 1/4 across, 1 1/2 inches wide. So let's go ahead and get this put down. Kind of using this as, I don't know, the ground for my Christmas tree. So let's go ahead, and that is going to just get adhered right down here at the bottom. Here and here. Okay. And now this can get adhered to my Cherry Cobbler. And then I'm actually going to show you more the pieces of some of the Christmas tree. Okay, so this will now go on top of my soft succulent layer. And before I get to putting the tree down and everything, let's go ahead and adhere this down to the card base. So we have our evening evergreen. Remember, it is the Z Fold. So what I'm going to do is, let me just kind of open this. This will actually adhere right like this. So it's kind of right in between here. So let me show you. This might be a little bit easier if I actually showed it to you. So I'm going to put my adhesive on the back of my soft succulent layer. This is the one that was 3 3/4 by 10 that we scored down the middle at 5. So this goes on that, on the inside here. Okay, so we still have the flap, we still have the inside of this card, and that is how it's going to become our easel card. All right, so it is a Z fold, and we're going to put this, use the sentiment then as what's going to help hold it closed. Now, as far as the tree goes, here's the sentiment. I just have the happy holidays. I just cut it down, lined it up. I layered it up rather with some evening evergreen and then a thick border here of the cherry cobbler then, because I really wanted that to be what's going to help to hold this down. All right, so the tree, before I do my sentiment, let me just show you the tree again. So this is now the 2 layers. Remember, I have the gold foil underneath. I have the green, the evening evergreen for the tree. Here are those 2. I cut 2 of these from the die. All right, these, I don't know, stars shapes. Now I cut 2 of them. This time I cut both from gold foil. On the first card, I did 1 foil, 1 in Very Vanilla. This time, though, I'm going to do both in foil. So let's go ahead, just a dab of glue, maybe a bigger dab than that, and just layer them up. The thing with the glue is now I can squirm it around here, get it to where I want it. There we go. And now let's get this put down to the tree. All right, here's where I'm thinking that's going to go. All right. It is small, and I feel like I'm clumsy with my fingers today, and I feel like they're just getting in the way. So, well, let's try that again, Linda. And there we go. So now I have an all gold topper for that one. Okay. So now let's go ahead. Yes, I have all these dimensionals on the back. You know, you knew I would. So let's go ahead and get this adhered down. I know people are just amazed at how many dimensionals I use, but hey, 'tis what it is, right? So, problem is you have to watch me take the peel the paper off of them all, don't you? So, let's go ahead, get this adhered down. Now, for my stopper for the easel, I have this strip, like I said, but I only put the dimensionals along the bottom because I want it to be, let me just open this up so I can show you, right here along the bottom. All right, let me do it so I can show you what I mean. So let's get, that's why I love using the mini dimensionals for things like this. Because this, like I said, is what's going to stop the card from opening up. All right, so the dimensionals are along the bottom. Yes, this is all open here, right along in here. So you can see all of that is open because that is where I am going to use Then, whoops. Sure I am. That's what I'm going to use to help to hold that closed so it will stand up as like an easel card. All right, so let me just kind of, I don't know if turning it sideways helps for you to see how we've got the green, the soft succulent is tucked under and staying closed, and I have it like an easel card. So now it's ready to stand up on the mantle and you can really show it off. Couple again of the adhesive dots, the rustic metallic ones, and the card's done. So these are the two cards I came up with today. Like I said, I have just been going crazy with my swap cards and work and just all kinds of things. So this was what I could do. I wanted to be sure and use a stamp set and a bundle that I haven't used yet. And how sad that I haven't used this one yet, because look, it just makes for a stunning tree. These the DSP is just beautiful with those little bits of foil shining through. So definitely a must get out of the mini catalog. So comes highly recommended. Well, guys, I certainly hope that you have a great week. I cannot wait until next week to just share all about the Stampin' Up! Convention with you. And like I said, if I can get my act together, I'll show off have all the swaps that I received there, and I can share them all with you. So, but otherwise, if you have any questions or anything like that, need to get a hold of me, don't hesitate to message me on Facebook, leave a comment. I'd be happy to get back to you. So anyway, hey guys, have yourself a great week. Thanks again. Bye now.